Let's face it, consumer debt is up. Statistically, across the whole country, more consumers are carrying credit card debt and carrying high auto loan payments. So what do? I'm recording this on August 31st of 2023. So these are some ideas besides trying to find a bag of hundreds like what I have behind me. So let's say that you have a lot of credit card debt or maybe auto loan debt, and the payments are really affecting you. One of the things that you can look at is a personal loan. We have a personal loan product. There's also competitors that I compete with that have personal loan products. And what a personal loan does is it just attaches you. It's going to carry a higher interest rate than, say, for instance, a home equity loan or home equity line of credit, because there's nothing to attach besides the person. But when you look at your overall monthly payments, if it's going to reduce your overall monthly payments, and you know that you're going to be able to pay that loan off in 4 or 5 years, that could be much better for you than floating out credit cards. If you're sitting on credit card debt, I definitely encourage you, look at the part in the statement. It's usually around the middle of the statement that will show you, if you just make those minimum payments, how long it will take you to make those minimum payments. Credit card interest is really, really tough. And it's really hard to get out of credit card debt when you're carrying a lot of debt, because sometimes an extra $100 or $200 a month doesn't make that significant of an impact when you have rates that are somewhere in the 20 range. The other options, if you're a homeowner, are a home equity line or a home equity loan. We also offer a home equity loan product. If you're finding this on my YouTube, in the video description, you'll find a link to my site where you can check out the personal loan as well as the home equity loan and compare that. Compare that to, for instance, the home equity line of credit. Home equity line of credits work similar to a credit card in that you can borrow, you can pay it off, you can borrow again, and that borrowing period can last anywhere from 5, 10, or 15 years. During that time where you can borrow from it, and pay it down and continue to borrow from it, it's an interest-only payment. It is adjustable. It's tied to the prime rate. So a lot of folks have gotten the harsh reality of what's gone on with the Fed and the Fed raising overnight rates and seeing what's happening with their home equity lines of credit. Once the interest-only period is done, if you still have a balance, then it converts to principal and interest. And it will be a fixed period for the remainder of the loan. A home equity loan allows you the stability of a fixed rate. Like, for instance, our home equity loan is a 30-year product. No prepayment penalty. You can always pay extra. And the last thing that's an option is what's known as a cash out refinance. I'll tell you, when rates were in the 2s or in the 3s, it was often a no-brainer to say, hey, you're sitting on $40,000 or $50,000 in plastic, refinance it and get a rate in the high 2s or in the high 3s or low to mid 3s, whatever the rates were. See, I forget. But in all seriousness, where rates are now, it's often looking at, okay, is a personal loan better? Is a home equity line or loan better? Or is the cash out refinance better? So it's really assessing what is better for the consumer. The other thing that goes into consideration is habits. So if you have carried debt a good chunk of your life, you may need to look at your habits. No judgment here. You know, like, I'd be the world's biggest fibber if I said that we've never had credit card debt. Yeah, there's times where we've got to float and pay interest and until we're able to get stuff paid off. But sometimes there's patterns that we'll see. And as someone that's been in lending a long time and has worked with sometimes people over and over again, sometimes you'll see those patterns. And I always want to be gentle and kind and to say, like, hey, how does this keep happening? Is it a matter of lifestyle? Is it a matter of income? You know, when you can't borrow anymore, sometimes that's really hard. So sometimes you got to take that deep look and say, okay, well, what do I need to do here? I've taken, let's give an example. I've taken a cash out refinance. What am I going to do so that that doesn't happen again? So what should you do? Long answer, it really depends. If you want to do an assessment, if you're sitting on more than $20,000 in credit card debt, or if you have an auto loan payment that really might be, choking you as far as affordability, it's worth it to have a call to at least know, like, hey, what are my options? What should I do or what shouldn't I do? As always, if this is a video that you liked, leave me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs downs are fine. And if you know someone that might be struggling with debt or might need to see this, please make sure you share. As always, I thank you all for the comments.